Your desire to get more done is secretly sabotaging your every effort. The long hours, the constant multitasking, the relentless hustle, it's all generating more heat than light. You already know the feeling of a week evaporating with nothing real to show for it. But what if the solution was to do less? Drastically less. What if 7 minutes of absolute, steel-trap focus on a single outcome could accomplish more than your last month of scattered work? This is the central, uncomfortable claim of one of the most mysterious self-development texts ever written. And chances are, the way you're using your mind right now is actively pushing your goals further away, day by day. The author of this text, a man named Charles Haanel, described the average person's mind as a chaotic workshop. Imagine it. Tools are left everywhere. Half-finished projects are collecting dust on every surface. Sawdust covers the floor. The air is thick with the smell of abandoned ideas. The owner of this workshop dashes in, grabs a hammer, bangs on a piece of wood for 30 seconds, gets distracted by a shiny piece of metal, picks up a blowtorch, heats it for a minute, then remembers an urgent email and runs out. This is the state of chronic distraction. It's a state of constant, low-grade motion that produces nothing of value. It's activity without accomplishment. You feel busy, you might even feel exhausted, but the needle never moves. The 7-minute principle is about shutting down the entire workshop. It's about turning off the buzzing fluorescent lights, silencing the radio, and sweeping every single workbench clean. All of them. Then, you place one single solitary project in the very center of the room. And for 7 uninterrupted minutes, you bring every tool, every ounce of your skill, every watt of mental light to bear on that one project. You study it from every angle, you feel its weight, you see its finished form with absolute clarity. In this quiet, focused space, something profound begins to happen. A different kind of work gets done. The frantic energy of the chaotic workshop is replaced by a quiet, immense pressure, a directed force. Haanel argued this force was as real and predictable as gravity. He described focused thought as a coherent vibration, a signal sent out into the universe. Think of a standard light bulb. It uses 100 watts of energy to weakly illuminate a room. The light goes everywhere, diffuse and unfocused. Now, think of a 100-watt laser. It uses the same amount of energy, but it focuses every single photon into one thin, straight, powerful beam. A beam that can cut through steel. Your scattered thoughts throughout the day are the light bulb. They create a general mental glow, a fog of intention, anxiety, and vague desire. But that 7 minutes of deep concentration, that's the laser. It sends one unambiguous, high-energy signal. It's a declaration. It's an instruction. What is it an instruction for? Here is where Haanel's ideas move into territory that can make modern minds uncomfortable. He proposed the existence of a universal mind, an infinite, intelligent, creative field of energy that connects everything. This isn't a distant, separate deity. He saw it as the underlying operating system of reality itself. Your individual mind is a terminal connected to this massive mainframe. A terminal with the ability to both receive from it and impress ideas upon it. Your conscious mind chooses the idea, but it's your subconscious mind that acts as the transmitter. It takes the blueprint from your conscious thought and broadcasts it into this universal field. The universal mind, being the source of all substance and energy, then begins to arrange itself around this new blueprint. It works through natural means, aligning circumstances, presenting opportunities, and inspiring the very ideas you need to bring the goal into physical form. This makes the quality of your signal everything. Weeks of scattered effort is like trying to send a high-resolution image over a dial-up modem that keeps disconnecting. You send a few pixels of your goal, then a blast of anxiety about a bill, then a fragment of a memory, then a worry about what someone thinks of you. The receiver, your subconscious mind, gets a garbled, useless mess of data. It can't build from static. But 7 minutes of pure, unbroken concentration on your desired outcome is like uploading a perfect 8K digital blueprint over a fiber optic cable. The subconscious receives a crystal clear, complete, and workable file. It has its instructions, and it immediately gets to work. It works 24 hours a day, using resources you don't even know you have to construct the physical equivalent of that image. Critics might call this pure fantasy, a holdover from a pre-scientific age. And they're right, that Harnell was using the language of his time. But the mechanism he described has unsettling echoes in modern findings about the brain. We know that intense focus strengthens neural pathways. We know that the reticular activating system in our brainstem begins to filter reality based on what we consistently pay attention to. If you decide you want a specific model of car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. The cars were always there. Your brain was just editing them out. Focus tells your brain what's important. It rewrites the filter. Suddenly you start noticing the conversation, the article, the person who can help you, the opportunity that was invisible to you yesterday. Harnell's universal mind, arranging circumstances, can be viewed as your own brain, newly programmed, finally noticing the resources that were present all along. He described the external effect. We can now begin to map the internal mechanism. The result is the same. The world seems to conspire to help you. But there's a critical component to this process, and it's the one most people fail to grasp. Simply holding a mental picture of a new car or a better job is almost useless. The subconscious is moved by something far more primal than logic or images. It's moved by feeling. Emotion is the engine of creation. A thought by itself is a cold, lifeless architectural drawing. A thought fused with intense positive emotion is that same drawing built into a stunning virtual reality simulation you can walk around in. During those 7 minutes, the task is not merely to see your outcome, it's to feel it. You must generate in your body right now the exact emotional state you would experience if your goal were already achieved. The relief, the gratitude, the quiet confidence, the joy. This is where the real work lies. You are generating a feeling that your current reality does not justify. You are creating an emotional signature that is out of sync with your bank account, your job title, or your health report. This creates a powerful dissonance, a tension between the inner reality you're generating and the outer reality you're observing. Harnell argued that this is the tension that drives manifestation. The subconscious mind, imprinted with this powerful feeling state, now has one overriding command: resolve the dissonance. And since it accepts the inner world as the primary reality, its only option is to change the outer world to match. It begins to relentlessly organize your perception, your intuition, and your actions to create the physical circumstances that will finally align with the feeling you have already claimed as your truth. That feeling is the magnetic force. It draws the necessary components to you. Weeks of scattered, worried effort do the opposite. Worry is a powerful feeling. It's a form of intense focus, but it's focus on what you don't want. When you spend weeks worrying about paying a bill, you are spending weeks feeling the lack of money. You are impressing the powerful feeling of scarcity onto your subconscious mind. Day after day, your subconscious, being an obedient servant, gets to work creating more circumstances that match the feeling of scarcity. The frantic work, the multitasking, the long hours, they are all actions taken from a place of fear. They are reinforcing the very problem you're trying to solve. You are sending a perfect high-resolution blueprint for failure, and your subconscious is building it flawlessly. The 7 minutes of focused positive feeling is an attempt to interrupt that pattern. It's a deliberate act of emotional and mental rebellion against your current circumstances. So if the process is this mechanical, why isn't everyone a master of their destiny? Why do so many people try this kind of thing and see zero results? This leads to the final, most confronting piece of the puzzle. The 7 minutes of focused creation are powerful, but they are up against the other 23 hours and 53 minutes of the day. And for most people, those hours are spent in a state of demolition. You spend 7 minutes building a beautiful sandcastle of your ideal future. You pour feeling into it, you see every detail. Then the timer goes off. You open your eyes, look around your room, and your conscious analytical mind immediately goes to work. Well, that was nice, but it's not real. The money isn't in my account. Nothing's changed. Doubt is a wrecking ball. It's an instruction to the subconscious to tear down what was just built. Every time you check for results and find none, you are reinforcing the old reality. Every time you complain about your current situation, you are cancelling out the new blueprint. The real discipline is not in the 7 minutes of focus. Anyone can learn to do that. The real Herculean task is protecting the seed you've just planted from the storm of your own habitual doubt for the rest of the day. It's about learning to walk by an inner faith in the unseen, while your outer senses scream that nothing is happening. It's about starving the old reality of your emotional attention. Weeks of scattered effort are easy. They are a symptom of a mind ruled by external circumstances. A few minutes of creation followed by a full day of protection, that requires a new kind of power. The battle is not to force the world to change. The battle is to keep your own mind from destroying the template before the world has a chance to conform to it. The 7 minutes are the easy part. They are the deposit. The rest of the day is about preventing yourself from immediately making a withdrawal. The question isn't whether you can concentrate. It's whether you can stand to believe in what you've built, even when you're the only one who can see it. The real work begins the moment you open your eyes. And this same mechanism of imprinting the subconscious explains why affirmations often backfire completely, which is a different kind of mental trap.